Right, I can't walk by this without coming and saying hello. I've never seen as much activity in one space as is going on here. So we're at the Ford Corsair Owners Club. Wow, look at all of this going on. I know we're talking to you. Introduce yourself, sir.
Hi, I'm Graham. I'm a member of the Ford Corsair Owners Club.
I can't believe how much activity is going on here. We're at the restoration show and you think, people might be doing brakes, people might be doing this.
Yes.
You're completely rebuilding cars in the NEC.
Absolutely, yes we do.
This is wild. So what have we got here? Tell us about this.
Right, this is a Ford Corsair Estate. They were a collaboration between Ford Motor Company and Abbots of Farnham.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
So they sent them as a saloon down to Abbots, and then the saloon never had a roof skin on it when it went. They then took the roof off, and the roof here is off a Mark I Cortina estate.
Wow, okay.
So your roof, the roof line is there.
Yep.
And then the rear quarter here is Mark I Cortina.
Well, this must surely be a very rare car then.
It is. We think it's one of possibly 14 or 15 left that's on the road in the UK.
Wow, good grief. And then please, show us through. There's some other amazing stuff happening here. So have we got an engine swap taking place here?
Yes, we do. What's happening there, the gearbox has been removed and is lying down
Yes,
here.
I can see that. I'll try not to slip on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. The engine is now coming out. It's developed an oil leak, and Tom and Steve, another couple of members of the Corsair Owners Club, have got to rectify that and then put it all back together again, so that hopefully by the end of the weekend she'll be a runner.
Incredible. Look, it is literally just about to pop out.
Yes, indeed.
I will not disturb these guys because I know exactly what it's like when you're just about to pull an engine out.
That's right.
Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me.
I'm busy!
Don't even look at me.
Yes, it can sometimes get a
It
job
can be like
frustrating,
that,
can't it?
And then what?
Can't it?
And then what? I'm seeing an axle out here. This looks like this entire car's being pulled apart. So,
Right, so what we're doing here, you've already looked at the estate car shelf. The saloon car has become a donor.
Originally going to be that one done up, and then I bought the estate, and then the estate, because there's only 14 in the country, well, 14 in the world that could be on the road. By the time that one's done, that's why we're donating from that one to that one.
You can't save them all, sadly, can you?
No,
You can't save them
unfortunately.
all.
So what we're doing is getting the best of both worlds.
So you're a man with an axle in your lap. What is this? Just getting cleaned up?
Yeah, because it's come off of this one.
Yep.
This come in, this one rolled in.
Yep.
Hopefully that one's going to roll out.
That's wild.
So that one coming on dollies on the nylon wheels, as you can see underneath there, and hopefully we'll be able to lift that on the back of the trailer.
That's incredible.
For a one-way journey to the scrapyard.
But presumably with all of the last useful stuff stripped off.
Oh yeah, it sounds daft. It's keeping hold of all the nuts and the bolts and bits and pieces because they're all Imperial. And because everything's made metric nowadays.
Actually, just the fasteners themselves are getting difficult. Oh, yeah.
So it's all of the tricky little nuts and bolts that you took for granted for so many years that are no longer available dead easy.
Yeah.
So then they become a specialised thing. So it's like everything. Between the two motors, we'll have enough bits
fantastic.
make one nice one.
Well, I'll let you get back to your wire brushing. Thanks for
Thank
taking
you.
some time. So, what was this donor car then? What do we have here?
What you have here is a Ford Corsair 1700 Deluxe. The easiest way of telling the Deluxe was the chrome trims down the side.
Yep.
The 1700 V4 engine.
No, I was going to say that's quite a unique thing about a Corsair, isn't it? Because
Yes, it is.
One of the few cars to ever have a V4. Am I right in saying that?
That's correct, yes. I mean, say the other one that was notable was the Saab. The early Saabs, of course, had a very similar engine, but they were slightly different.
But the same Ford-derived
Configuration of the V4 layout.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
indeed.
So, we're having a look here. I'm sure there's people at home going, oh my God, I can't believe this is the end of this car, but she's had a life, hasn't she?
She has had a life indeed. As you can see, in that life, it's had the usual Ford repairs that were announced.
Strut tops.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, say you can even see period repairs as well there. You can see the nuts and bolts that somebody has adapted onto that top suspension mounting plate.
Right.
Matt, again, another member of our group here, has been busy on this all morning, taking the engine out and all of that.
Let's have a quick chat to Matt. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? Bob from Motorhaus.
Hi, Bob. You all right?
I'm good. So, day one,
Yep.
you've been busy.
Yeah, so we stripped my job today was just taking the engine and Dave's job, wherever Dave's gone. But yeah, we've took the engine out this morning. We started about 9 o'clock. And so by about 11 o'clock, it was all out. And the purpose is the engine we thought had seized up, but it seems to be okay.
Okay.
I don't know what we'll do with that particular engine, but the job for this now is strip all the subframe off, the axle, everything, get it back into a reasonable condition, new bushes and stuff like that, new nuts and bolts, grease them up, and then we'll transfer everything onto the estate car that's over there. And then this shell will then go back onto the trolley that estate's now on.
Yep.
And then we'll decide what we're going to do with this one.
That is incredible. That is incredible. So as you can see, everyone, like, they call it the Practical Classics Classic and Restoration Show, but it's more than restoration. There's actually cars being built from the ground up.
Yeah, and
over the weekend.
I've been involved in the Corsair Club for a few years now. And I've been to this show for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now, and this is what it's like every year. You know, like the group of guys here that are all working. I can't take credit as much as for most of these, like Rob and Graham and Tom over there, because they're doing this on the weekends for these cars as well. So that estate over there, that was the same as this car last year. I think it was last year. We stripped it all down, and then over the course of the year, Rob and Graham and all that, they've been working on the car, getting it all prepped up, ready to come here for, you know, lots of welding, lots of just lots of body work and everything like that. And now all of this stuff will go onto there, and then that one can become a rolling restoration, as we call them.
That's amazing. Well, look, my absolute compliments to everyone at the Corsair Club. This is one of the most arresting displays I've seen here.
Yeah, thank you.
Check them out. Are you on social media or anything?
Are we on social media? We're on Facebook. This is Rob. He's the chairman.
Hello, Rob.
How you doing?
Bob from Motorhaus.
Hello, Bob, how you doing? Full Corsair Enthusiast Group is the one we use on
Great.
on Facebook.
Okay, so that's what people need to go and check out.
Oh, there is a website, obviously, Corsair Owners Club. .com, naturally. Yeah. Brilliant. No, did they explain about what we're doing with that one for the donor to the car over there?
Yeah, it's incredible. Like I was saying, like there's actually a car being completely built at the show.
Well, that one over, if you go over to the car, we've had 20 weekends restoring that shell, and all the metal work's on the floor over there.
So look, everyone, when people say, "Oh, no one's interested in classic cars anymore," nonsense.
20 weekends. Stripping, getting that shell ready to bring it out. We didn't make it where we wanted to make it, with hopefully having it in paint, because obviously everything comes off of here, stripped, clean, refurbished, repainted, and put back on that car.
I feel exhausted. So something I always think with a classic car is, do you know what I want more of in a classic car? Is more classic car electrics, because that's what everyone always thinks, isn't it? Because that won't be any more bother. What on earth is going on here?
So this car is it was my dad's car. He only passed away a few weeks ago, sort of thing. So this is
my commiseration. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So he was a big Corsair person. So he built this in 1968, 69, 70.
Yeah.
He bought it from a two-door body shell, so it was the second to last body shell from Ford. It's the V4 body shell, so it's got the airflow. And he literally just then went to build it from scratch.
But that is a lot of fuse boards.
Yeah, so
a lot of relays. What? I'm sorry, I'm lost for words. What is going on here?
So he was an electrician by trade.
Okay.
But he was my family, uncles and stuff, also into motor racing. So he was sort of born into their love of cars, as it were, sort of thing. And so after his first Corsair caught fire, after he'd done sort of modifications and bits and pieces on that, he then decided to build his own car exactly how he wanted it. And he loved electrics. He loved the electric sort of thing. So he went to go, from a normal fuse panel is sort of like 5 or 6 fuses on a Corsair.
At most on this
Yeah.
era of car, isn't it? Yeah.
So absolutely everything that you can see in this car, from the fuses to the relays to the gauges to the warning lights.
Now, can you show us in the car? Because I have a suspicion that this feeds to. Yeah. Holy moly!
So inside here then, so it's got gauges.
What?
So and the thing is, if he was here today, the thing he would say is every single thing he's got in here has got a purpose. Nothing's there for show.
Wow.
So it's got obviously sort of different ammeters, voltmeters. It's got warning lights. So for example, if you haven't got your seatbelt plugged in, a warning light will come on. If the temperature in the boot rises too much, potentially a fire, warning lights will come on. You've got a set of bells behind here that will also which will also sound. So he built this in the sort of late 60s, early 70s. It took about 3 years. It was all finished, got it all completely done. And then over the next year of driving it, he decided that there was lots of things that he still wanted to do to it. And he started doing all that. And then from about 1972, he put it away in the garage and bought another Corsair and used that for the next 20 years. And this has sat now for 50 years in the workshop.
Now, I've been in some competition cars that don't have this amount of gauges or indicator lights. This is wild, but what a period piece, right?
So one of the things in this car, it's got obviously the gauges are there for anything from engine temperature, top of the radiator to bottom of the radiator temperature. It's also got a rear diff temperature sensor. So that was the thing that he always said, how hot the rear diff gets. And so he had a gauge in there, and he was also designing something to run like an oil cooler to the rear diff, but I don't think that never happened on it.
Oh wow! What was your dad's name?
His name was Clive. Clive O'Neill.
Clive, we salute you. This was incredible. Thanks, Clive. For more videos from the 2026 Practical Classics Restoration Show, be sure to subscribe, as we'll be dropping new videos from the show over the coming days. And if you want to watch our full show coverage, then we made a handy playlist you'll find in the description.